there again, book lovers! It's me, Raimskie. Do sound like Valentina there. So anyway, I'm back again for another book review for 2021. And this time, I'll be reviewing, ta-da! The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra, Clare, and Wesley Chu. So, again, this is another Malik book, and yes, this is book 2 of the Eldest Curses series. So, enough jibber-jabbering for a while, and let's get started on talking about the story in this book. So, the story is set 3 years after the disastrous trip of Magnus and Alec to Europe. So, things have kind of changed a little bit here, and our characters, specifically Alexandra Lightwood, has matured a little bit now. And what I liked the most and what I find the most endearing in this book is that our sweet couple are already dads. Aww. Like, come on guys, they're dads! They have adopted a son. A child. Actually, it's a warlock child, but still, come on guys, it's a son. It's a child, it's a kid. Malik has their own kid. So, anyway, going back to the story. So, one wonderful night, as Malik, or actually it's Magnus, was putting Max, their child, the name of their child, yes, and yes, I know that the child is named after Alexander Lightwood and Isabel's little brother, who apparently died during the Mortal War. So anyway, again, going back. So Magnus was one night putting Max to sleep to his bed, and Alexander, or Alec, was in the shower because he's just got off from a round throughout the city. So anyway, and then as soon as Magnus went out of Max's room, he felt a presence inside their apartment. Apparently, he has been feeling someone trying to, or challenging, the wards in their apartment. So, but this time around, they have successfully taken off the apartment's wards, and the ones who did it are, you guessed it, or you might have not guessed it, they are Shinyun and an old warlock friend of Magnus's. I'm not going to say who that old warlock friend is, because again, guys, no spoilers. So you have to read the book if you want to know who that old friend is. And the first book as well. So, apparently, Shinyun and Magnus's old warlock friend are looking for the Book of the White, which is, by the way, a book that contains powerful spells, which is why it's kind of dangerous, to be honest. So, apparently, Magnus carelessly put the Book of the White in one of Max's book piles. Can you imagine the carelessness of that? Apparently he hasn't matured on that part. So anyway, so Shinyun got hold of the Book of the White, and Magnus's old warlock friend, I almost said the name, Magnus's old warlock friend got hold of Max. And guys, you can just imagine the horror on Magnus's face when that old friend of his was holding on to his child. And Magnus's fatherly instincts kicked in just like that. So, to not disturb Max's slumber rather, because Magnus's old warlock friend was holding Max. So to not disturb Max from his sleep, Magnus kind of bargained with Xinyan and his old warlock friend. So apparently Magnus didn't care for the Book of the White that much anymore. Because come on guys, he has a kid already. They have a kid. So what's more important for them, especially for Magnus, is his kid, Max. So he kind of bargained that he's not going to do any funny business at all. And Xinyan and the old warlock friend would be putting back Max where he belongs, which is his crib. So the old warlock friend did just that. But it was Xinyan who did the funny business herself. So when Xinyan and the old warlock friend of Magnus came into the apartment, she was wielding a strange weapon. And it's called, sorry, I'm so sorry if I mispronounce this, but it's called Sventhorn or something like that. But it's spelled as Svefnthorn. And apparently, according to Google Translate, it is Scandinavian in nature, and it means sleeping thorn. So anyway, yes, Xinyan was holding on to that sleeping thorn and stabbed Magnus on his chest. Just on his chest. And I know you guys might be feeling a little bit gruesome on this part, but Magnus did not feel anything at all. Like, yes, he was stabbed with a thorn, but it felt nothing. So a light is just coming out of the stab wound, kind of, and nothing's happening to Magnus just at that point. Then, just after Magnus stabbing, Alexander Lightwood, Alec, got out of the shower and he was wielding his bow. And to fast forward, or to cut the story short, Xinyan and the old warlock friend of Magnus quickly opened a portal and got into it. But before they disappeared through the portal, Alec was able to grab hold of a piece of clothing from Magnus's old warlock friend. So yeah, they have something to track both Xinyan and Magnus's old warlock friend. Since Alec has a piece of clothing of Magnus's old warlock friend, he can use that piece of clothing to look for Xinyan and Magnus's old warlock friend's hideout. So, Alec used a tracking rune on that piece of clothing, and apparently the tracking rune pointed it to Shanghai, China. Can you guys believe it? I mean, they're in New York, and Xinyan and Magnus's old warlock friend are hiding in China, which is way, way far away. Since Shanghai, China, or rather just China, the country itself, is a little bit far away from where Magnus and Alec is, they have to find someone to take care of Max while they go on this mission of theirs. So for their mission, they have to do two things. Retrieve the Book of the White, the lost Book of the White, thus the title, and find a method or a way to heal Magnus's stab wound. So, to cut the story short, Alec apparently got hold of the old gang back together. And yes, I'm talking about Jace Herondale, Clary Fairchild, or Clary Morgenstern, rather, Simon Lewis, and apparently Simon is now called Simon Lovelace for some reason. And if you guys want to know what happened to Simon or why he changed his surname, you guys have to read, what was the book called again? Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. So yeah, and the other one is Isabel Lightwood, Simon's girlfriend. To cut the story short, the old gang eventually went to Shanghai, China. But during their trip there, or when Magnus, actually, or I think it's Clary, actually it's both of them. When Magnus and Clary tried opening a portal, they had some kind of problems with it. Because when they tried opening a portal, apparently they weren't successful at first in opening it, and demons just keep on coming out of that portal. So anyway, long story short, they went to China and went to the Shanghai Institute, which is ran, which is run by the Ke family. And there, when they got there, the Shanghai Institute, they met Tian, one of the Ke family's kids, and a shadow hunter in training, I guess? No, he's a full-on Nephilim during this time. Anyway, so they met him, and through him, they made plans on how to solve the two problems of the gang, which is looking for retrieving the Book of the White and looking for a way to heal Magnus's stab wound. Oh, and yes, there's a third one, because apparently, I forgot to tell you guys this a while ago. Yeah, so apparently, Shinyun and Magnus's old warlock friend, God, I was just trying my best to not mention the name. So yeah, so they were trying to help Samael go back to Earth and finish what he has started here, just before Michael defeated him. And just a quick note here, apparently in this story, Samael and Lucifer are two different beings. And if I'm not mistaken, and if we're going to be historically accurate, or biblically accurate, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, so if I'm not mistaken, Samael is Lucifer's old name, or one of his names, back when he was not a fallen angel. Putting that aside and going back to the story, or rather, going back to the Shanghai Institute, the gang and Tian made plans on how they would do their mission. And yes, they included Tian in this mission as well, because he's the only one who knows about the modern structure of the Shanghai city. So anyway, so one of their plans is to do a lot of research. And that research is to know about the seventh thorn. I'm so sorry, just really don't know how to pronounce it. So let's just call it sleeping thorn. So yeah. So they're going to be researching about the sleeping thorn and what the capabilities of Samael is, and how to apparently heal the stab wound of Magnus. So, to cut the story short, during their visit in the shadow market, and once they got hold on to special weapons, Shinyun and Magnus's old warlock friend attacked the shadow market. The gang, or let's call them the new gang, I guess? Anyway, so the gang tried battling Shinyun, Magnus's old friend, and their minions. Because apparently, when they attacked the shadow market, they opened a portal, and through that portal, demons came pouring out of it. So anyway, fast forward, Shinyun and Magnus's old friend retreated back through the portal. And just before they closed the portal itself, the gang prepared themselves to go through it. And once they got through the portal, they stumbled upon Diu, which is the place where Samael is currently residing. So yeah. Anyway, fast forward again. In Diu, and according to Chinese folklore, Diu is like the Chinese hell. And in this story, or in this universe, it is just simply one of the hells in existence. Anyway, so going back to the story, so the gang met Samael, and then Samael was subtly putting out his plans and subtly nudging one of the gang members. And again, no spoiler. I'm not going to tell you guys who, because again, no spoilers. He was just standing on the side and he just reacting to what's unfolding in front of him. So you can just imagine him doing like, really? Sarcastically. He's such a character, and I love this one. So anyway, fast forward again. The gang somehow defeated Samael, and I'm going to say defeated because he wasn't killed at all. And Shinyun went missing, and she apparently got tired of Samael's shenanigans. And the gang was able to retrieve the Book of the White, healed Magnus, and Magnus's old friend as well. So, with all of this said, I guess I'm going to give this book 8 wonderful stars. No. Actually, I'm going to give it 9 wonderful stars because come on, you guys. Who wouldn't be happy in finding out that Malik are dead already? Like, come on, it's one of my lifelong dreams, actually. So, which is why I find it so endearing. Because as the story progresses, Magnus and Alec are always thinking about their kid. Like, that's their anchor and not going insane. And that's like one of their anchors, or one of the reasons they would like to go back home alive. So yeah, 9 wonderful stars. So, I hope you guys liked watching this video even though I'm lacking energy due to lack of sleep and lack of caffeine. So, yeah, so if you guys liked watching this and enjoyed watching me do book reviews, or simply just loved this book review video of mine, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, Raimskie Reads. Oh, and follow me on Instagram as well if you like. And my Instagram handle is Raimskie Reads as well. Again, this is Raimskie telling you guys to please hunt, discover, and read those queer books. Bye! Queer out!